Good evening, everyone. Thanks all for tuning in to That's Awfully Bright. It's like a reflection. Hi, hang on. It's like this thing. Hi, everyone. Thanks all for joining in. Let me get that. Oh, you know what? I don't think that other light's on. Hang on. Because I got these new lights installed above me, and they seem awfully bright. That's without the focus, and then there's all that. Pardon me for getting through this. There we go. The second one's probably the best. I just don't want too much glare, reflection, and such like that. How is everybody? Good deal. Welcome, and thanks for joining in. If you like what you hear, see, please consider giving us a thumbs up. And, of course, subscription. If you subscribe, if you want to get notified. I usually go live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central. Last week were the playoffs, football. So, hello from Argentina. Hello, Mark. Mecca, hello. Last week were the playoffs for the NFL football. And this week was, the skills and stuff like that. But next week's the Super Bowl, so I will not be doing another one next week. However, I do pop-ups during the week, and I have over 800 some odd videos there. Just trust law of attraction to bring in whatever is needed if you choose to journey through the work that I've done over the last 10 years. And it's all on my my channel there. And there's a connection to my website. That's odysseyofascension.com. There's a link down below. There you can find out about my LA event that's coming up. I'll be channeling live in Los Angeles at a cute little theater there. So we have comfortable chairs that kind of rock back a little bit instead of, in the industrial chair that you find in hotel thingies. So we got that going. That's at April 27th, the last Saturday of April. And that's, I think we're opening the doors at 5 p.m. Local time there in LA. So hello from Toronto. Hello, Kevin. So just check out the website for that and give you all the details about that. I'm a month into my Ascension classes, so I have to put my next start date on there. I'll go in there and change that because we're a month into those, so we're working. And of course, you get to, once you go through the Ascension classes, if you choose, then you can join the advanced classes. And that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, is a little of the information that we've been getting from the advanced classes. And so I think there's a lot of relative stuff that I can convey at some level without you getting too lost on some of the information that we're getting. So Sylvester, one of the guys I channel, one of the beings I channel, we call him Sly. Sylvester, call him Sly. Through the last couple of weeks, I think we're in our third week of talking about versions of realities. And you've probably heard that if you're a watcher of Bashar videos and also a reader of Seth materials and a follower of Abraham as well, then you've been introduced to the idea of vibration, frequency. And you have a core self that's unconditional love, and surrounding you is an identity that we've veiled ourselves with for the experience of separation, called the human fractal, is what I call it. It's the portion of you that doesn't know it's a creator, and that is taking its unconditional vibration and running it through a filter of those structures that we've learned here upon Earth, like everything is either good or bad, that there's one Earth, and this is a physical reality, And we just turned in that, but it's really a light. It's a holodeck. And your bubble is yours, and you're the only one in your universe. So you've heard a lot of these things, and then your relationship to those experiences is interpreted as well as expressed. So if you're putting out through a veil of truth that is lackful or polarized or dualistic, hello, Brenda, welcome, thanks for coming, then you'll have that experience, right? And if you have that experience, you interpret it, and it's whatever it is to you. And please take that really into consideration. It is whatever it is to you. The commonality of humanity is not common. That's an interpretation, that's your truth, that satisfies the reasons of things going on and sharing that commonality with humanity. But to understand vibration, frequency, and tones, you have to leave some of the postures that the separation of world experience has brought us. Like there's one Earth, and like there's bad aliens, and like there's good aliens, and everything that is in the perception of your mind, and you're using those truths, are your human experience, and they don't go any farther than that. They don't go any farther than you. There's nothing beyond your world. Your world is a bubble, and the stage is set every now for eternity on the attraction of your vibration. So if we want to understand the versions of reality we're getting, we have to look at the versions of the self that we're placing into the mirror. We have to understand our relationship to reality through our vibration. We, as humans, think we have to look at the relationship to the reality through our behaviors. And behaviors is postulated or postured on a good and a bad and everything in between. And we praise the good, and we raise them up, and we shun the bad, and you shouldn't do that. And even if you're talking bad about someone, your group of people that you might be sharing the same ideas with might think you're doing good. Like, this person is a great person, but they're evil because that greatness that they're doing is causing us this, and therefore they're bad. And so that's a way to interpret reality. And that's your vibration. And that's putting the validation through that veil. So when you put it through the veil, even though it's unconditional love, and you all know what a prism is, right? We all played prism when we were, a little prism, and you hit the light and it refracts. Remember, and probably in some kind of science class, I'm sure they showed you that, or that picture. So the light comes in and it comes out in a rainbow, right? So that prism that around you is your veil, but it's going through dualistic nature of your truth. So what you're putting out is I'm not God vibration, a dualistic separation identity, and that is putting into the mirror that truth. And that mirror comes back and says that truth. And it reinforces it in a million different ways. But what it reinforces is the vibration. See, what we think as humans, if I'm putting out good, I should reap good. What you put out is what you get back. Sow and reap. We get that. But it's not based upon dualistic, because the nature of creation is not based on polarity. The nature of creation is unconditional love. And I would even like to offer going beyond unconditional love in that way, that it's authentic. It's an interchangeable term, guys. Don't think that one supersedes the other. Don't let your dualistic mind. The reason why I'm accenting dualistic mind, put that in the nature of comparison, because it's not. What I'm accenting here, what I'm drawing your attention to, is the validation of self, the authenticity. And in that authenticity, okay, that was what you're putting out as a different idea, okay? Guys, if you could, 15 in the room, give me a thumbs up. I'll take a second to give a thumbs up. So let's look at that, okay? When you're putting out you reality veil, I don't even know how to spell veil, V-E-I-L maybe. Okay, so here's you, and your energy is going through and it hits reality, your mirror, and it's based off of this vibration. But you think it's putting out vibration of positive and negative, and you should reap positive and negative. It's not positive and negative, it's putting out. It's authentic, inauthentic. Thank you for the thumbs up, everyone. Very nice of you. It's authentic, inauthentic. Now, what is inauthentic? It means nothing like inauthentic if it's false or it's not real or that's, the inauthentic is not you. It's validating the identity. It's validating the identity, the false God, the posture that you're around. You think who you are. Oh, I'm like this, and this is what I am, and I'm and a God has to defend itself with this resume, or God has to attack another because it's better. Those aren't godly ways. Those are inauthentic vibrations. They're vibrations of dualistic nature. Perfect. That's to play the game. But you've waken up. You've awoken, right? So what is awakening about? I don't think it's about fixing like you've been trying to fix the rest of the world ever since you got here. About doing something. Look, if you're in your own bubble and you see things wrong and they need to be fixed, why the fuck would you ever imagine that they're going to be fixed when the vibration you're putting out is things are wrong and I'm going to fix them? So you're going to constantly get the reflections and the reinforcement of things being wrong and the constantly egoic, filling, succeeding person that you want to be to fix over and over again. See, you can't use the source when you awaken. You can't use the source of humanity as your reasonality to become this idea. There is never an enlightenment. Everything is enlightenment. Everything is about you, and you are the person that is creating your reality. The master is here. It's home. The God is here. That's how you're experiencing this, because you're creating the third density. You're not in it. You are it. You're that third density, and everything that is around you is your will, your I am, your gestalt, right? And then all of these reflections are the minions of creators that come in the form to validate that reality. And from their perspective, they're being their absolute awesome. In whatever form it is, from the leaf of the tree to the red car that just drove by. That's you putting out a vibration and you being validated by your best friend, the mirror, that this is your world. Welcome to it. So if you think of the world, hello, Robin, if you think of the world as positive and negative, and that's where you have to use and take that source of positive and negative and work that system, then negative this, positive that, then we got to take away this, we got to fix that, and then you're going to get a lifetime of that. Because what you put out is what you get back. You got to look at the authentic and inauthentic. Unconditional love. What is wrong with the world if you are unconditional love? Unconditional, unconditioned, no conditions. Oh, no conditions? No, no conditions. Everything is allowed. Everything is allowed. Have you come to Jesus meeting with yourself about the unconditional? Do you understand that everything is allowed and every action on this planet is absolute perfection? It is the experience of a God knowing themselves, no matter what side they're on of that dualistic action. That's what you have to master within your kingdom. Because if you keep validating, vibrating, putting into the mirror the dualistic nature of humanity, then you will remain most assuredly by law, what you put out is what you get back, the same. Waking up is a deconstruction of the identity. It is understanding vibration. It is speaking the language of the now, which is vibration. It's not words. It's vibration, folks. It's vibration. You have to get to understand what you're putting into the mirror. Observation shows you the relationship to pain and suffering and anger and hope and need, want, desire, guilt, obligation, dedication, motivation, goal setting, success, failure. The relationship to a dualistic that solicits and entices and gives the emotional relationship, and that's your experience, is what you need to observe and then do something about it, because you've awoken to the kingdom that is no longer yours. So it's a deconstruction of the internal world that you create. The vibrational veil that you're putting your authenticity through, your will through, is getting refracted by that veil, and it's telling the mirror the dualistic nature because you're validating it. So when something comes in as that, you just vibrated, that's right, that's what it is, that's wrong, or I'm angry because of that. Good, you like your anger, here's more reasons to be angry, because you're validating anger. So instead of fixing the mirror, which you can't, because remember, when you smile, the mirror smiles. The fucking mirror never smiles before you do. Come on, that's Bashar 101, right? So in order to change the version of the mirror, you have to change the version of you. You have to change the inner to change the outer. Inner creates the out. The out does not create. There is not one earth. There is your earth, and there's billions of earths, and you constantly shift to them. And you can go from different earths with different ideas and setups, and your memory's confused, and you're not sure what's going on. That's the greatest experience. You don't have to control reality. You're safe. You're rocked in the bosom of your own existence, your own grace, for God's sakes. Relax. Okay? And get to work. Use the intelligence of yourself. Use the kingdom within. Understand the I am. And says, I'm the God. There's no other God before me. I need to take accountability for me. What am I doing with my vibration? What can I change about this interaction that is giving me an emotional reaction? I can continue my version of myself and react the way I normally do, as I've done with my memory that I justify as the correct action, and then I will see those same results. If I want to change that, I must change the interaction with that belief system. So the versions of yourself, creating the versions of everyone that comes into your world, is dependent on you. You have to recognize the versions of yourself that are no longer valuable to you. Every version is validated. It's real and it's worthy, because it is the experience of being the now. And it is new and it is fresh and it is never repeated and it's never wasted. It's a fulfillment of each and every now. But as you grow into yourself and realize some of those fulfilling truths that you have are now no longer valid, and it's you that make the choice to change the reality, to change the behavior, the relationship to that. And then other things will happen. The mirror will reflect it. Thomas writes, it's about chilling out and being at peace with whatever unfolds. Yes, that's called, I like calling it allow the now. Allow the now. And that takes courage. That takes an immense trust, because the cycle of humanity is fear, 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 safety, security, make sure, don't let anything bad, make sure. And you can do that vibration of relaxing and allowing, and that will stir your fears that are valued, because you're not taking the normal actions that satisfies the safe and secure structure that we've created. So very good. Which means relaxing the habit choice and applying some kind of polarized definition to fundamentally neutralize the circumstance. Yes, it is not necessarily neutralizing the circumstance. What it is it brings to a point of neutrality through observation, but it doesn't make it in itself neutral. That reality is what it is. Whether it's good or bad, it is the unconditional. The neutral is your relationship with it to give you a chance to make a different choice. So absolutely. That's beautiful, Thomas. Thank you for writing that. Donna writes, accept the now. This thing is in my way. Let me scroll it. Accept the now. It is all we have. Fear is the inability to relax in the present. Yes. Good. It is. So I challenge everyone to live now. Try it. Watch how much your mind's going to go apeshit about your future, about your past, and how much you use the future and past to put into the now to create that world. Hello, Donna. Great to see you. It is Donna. That's right. Good to see you, Donna. So the future scared the hell out of me because I was taught many things to fear. My belief systems through my parents, the representation of the society, the schools, and at the time I grew up with is you're a bad person because there's some fuckface ate an apple, and now you're a bad person and you have to make yourself better. And I never did anything, but I was bad and I wasn't living up to the expectations of what people say. So I was ridiculed and put down. So I was afraid to be me. I had to be what I thought what everyone wanted, which is no one wants that. They don't want that. They want themselves. And I tried to be that person. And sometimes there is some success by, oh, yeah, you did great, man. Way to go. Thanks a lot for your help. But then I'm a train wreck because I'm not being me. I'm being an image. I'm being plastic. I'm not plastic. I'm a creator. I'm a God. I'm worthy of my existence. I've been chosen to exist. Therefore, I am blessed. And I will use that existence as I choose, but I'm not going to choose the mind that tells me how to perform, that tells me what's constitutionally or moralistically right. It is right within the kingdom that I must learn. I must learn the frequencies of the inner self, to feel it as a resonance, not as a reason, not as a proof, not as something that is. See? That's what we have to see, how powerful the fractal has been created and how strong it is as a reality. We must learn and observe and go beyond and look at the opportunity you have to change the behavior, is to bring it to a point of neutrality within the kingdom, as Thomas has said, and then make a different choice about that world. I can get angry. I can go at this. I can react. But do I need to? And sometimes you're not going to help but to react because it's a very powerful value. In other words, it's very strong in you when they do that. And they react and they're like, oh my God, rah! And then you let it out. You let it out. You rain your parade of truth. All the time, though, on the meanwhile, while you're raining that anger or that hope or that ecstasy, it doesn't matter. Be a master observer. Have that neutral person that watches it and starts to learn the vibration, and that's the world that you're attracting. And is it the world that you validate? Is that the world you want to continue living? The angry, the people, the action, the blame, the causality, the reason, all of that is the interpretation of the ego that's saying this is the reason, this is what it is, and that's the truth. That's not. It's a choice. Thomas Wright, yeah, that takes courage and trust to be now. Exactly. It's just as you said too. I found that it stirs up fears inside my heart. I watch them and just relax into them. Yes, surrender into the truths of yourself. Surrender into the guilt or the anxiety or the fears about the future and the guilt about the responsibilities you're not fulfilling. You know, those are the relationships. Those are the veils that interpret and experience, and that's what you're putting out. That's not outside of you. That's not a standard. Fear is not a standard. Hate is not a standard. Hope is not a standard. It is a belief system coveted, and it gives you the experience. So we have to look at those things. Donna writes, it's so disgusting how we are taught that hard work, secular, very good, is what we need to get all the things we will ever, what they will never tell you is you already have all the things inside of you. Absolutely. Well, you know what? Most of the people don't know. And I used to get obsessed. Like, this whole world is about instruction. I realized that. You know, it's like, fuck, well, no matter what, we're always being instructed. We're always being led. So no wonder we're fucking followers. No wonder we're fucking sheep. No wonder we're afraid to speak up when there's something wrong in the world that is moralistically wrong with you. But you don't want to say it because you might cause waves or fear or this. And then we're creating that. That's the fucking, just the conundrum, the fucking goat fuck that's happening right there. is that we think it's that. It's not that. It's us. So we have to represent a possibility. Do we not? Do we not have to represent a possibility of change? But I'm not going to represent the possibility of purpose to change. I'm not going to talk bad about this or don't do this. I'm going to be myself and discover myself and represent myself. What I'm representing is not a reason or a purpose. I'm representing vibration. That supersedes everything that the humans can come up with, because the human is this tiny little conditioned bubble about yay big that has a very limited idea. I'm representing authentic, the I am, the inner love. And that is what people seek within themselves. They're not seeking the ideas of identity, but we don't know. So we do have identity because they taught us. What are you going to be? What do you do? How much do you make? What's that like? Tell me about that, and we get these perceptions of externalism and we create identities out of them. Not wrong, the human experience. What we do is have an opportunity to change. We have an opportunity to change our internal relationships to reality. Those belief systems are structures that keep us in the same vibration, creating the same reality, and just appearing in different forms of how that reinforcement of that experience is. And we can go beyond that. All of us can. We can all go that. So I've been doing this work with versions of myself, understanding the versions of myself and watching the worlds change around me, watching the earths change around me, watching the vibrations, seeing how the stage is really set, seeing how many of these things are background props and things like that. They're props. They're things. They're not all solid. They're not all people. It's just a vibration holodeck, and it's my world, and it's reinforcing the reality that I am. So I use the mirror. I use the mirror to see me, not my good and bad. I will not interpret me through a polarized mind, because that validates the external identity judging the self. I am unjudgeable, and so are you. Only this right here is the only one that's judging. The ones around you that judge, you say yes to those things. And those things, you get offended by those things. And they hurt. Those are belief systems of interpretation that has more power than this. And that doesn't. It does not. It never, ever will. It never will. This is what creates that. It seems impossible to create versions of other people. It seems impossible because the mind wants to dictate or demand their actions or their behaviors. I do all this and I do all this, and then I get this version of this person. It's not about the polarity and the expectations, folks. It's about the version of yourself that you're putting in the mirror and allowing the mirror and natural timing to change and vibrate out those folks who no longer have a vibrational match to you, and the versions of people that stay with you will be the version that matches you. You have to trust and engage in this, to show it to yourself, to represent it to yourself. But first thing you need to recognize, it's all you. It ain't no one else, and it's your world. Don't ever think there's an outside world that means anything. Your bubble, as far as you can see, and that's where you live. Right here, right now, nowhere else. The mind takes you to the past, takes you to the future, raises up the emotions of fear, and then you take action in your reality with nothing that's going on right now. We structure safety and security. We structure all these things to prevent, to make sure, and to get, and all this, and we're not paying attention to our frequency in the now. We're not realizing our relationships that are offered here and now. So the work that I've been doing has just been phenomenal. It's showing me so much about me and how reality really works. And then you get this divinity about you and you get this understanding, but there's not a shred of arrogance that has an inkling to look at reality with any kind of a posture of separation. It takes work, though. It takes dedication. It takes the realization that enlightenment is not about changing the world. We all go vegan, or we stop doing this and we start doing that, and you should do this. That's just total fucking human. ideology of reason and causality. It's about looking at the relationships of your reality and changing them, taking down the parts that are no longer valid. That's anything to do with dualistic, I can tell you that. We are by nature unconditional. Take around down the conditions, and then you'll see better light, beautiful light, changing light. And that will bring back the resonant reflection that just makes you feel just yummy, really yummy inside. So I wanted to get that out there. I wanted to get this vibration out there. Start paying attention to vibration. Observe how you feel. Put yourself in a neutral spot of those belief systems that are pulling you left or right or good or bad. You know, it's represented everywhere on TV. Just turn on the news and watch the representation of rights and wrongs. Start to observe them. Start registering those frequencies. Start registering what the frequency of anger. Start registering the frequency of deceit. These are the language of the now. This is the language that we all speak naturally, vibration. We don't speak words. That comes secondary. Okay? There's lots of work out there for you. Take the time to invest in yourself and change your life. Change your reality to the world, to return to your kingdom. The unknown parts of you haven't met yet. But if you take down the parts of you that are definitely no longer you, that you bought in from the humanistic world, then you can change that. And when you do, you will start to reveal yourself. Okay? All right, guys. Again, I love you so much. Thank you all for tuning in and supporting my channel. Again, if you care to donate, you're down Odyssey of Ascension. I'll do that. Oh my gosh, Debbie, look at that. Start talking about donations. Thank you, Deb. I love you so much, baby. I'm going to give that a big heart. Yay. So, yeah, that's a super chat. And of course, Odyssey of Ascension, there's a donate button there as well. And you can most certainly do that. And there's also, again, the information about my upcoming LA channel in April. Check out the link below. Take you to my website. Enjoy. And remember, 800 videos out there, a lot of information. You don't need to conquer it all at once. Just relax, slip into yourself, and trust that you're our creator, and find that internal love, and let that love lead you back to your own throne. Okay? Thanks, everyone. I will not be here again next Sunday because it is Super Bowl, but I will be returning the Sunday after that, and we'll do some pop-ups during the week. I love you guys. If you need anything you need, feel free to contact me. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, everyone that can. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Donna. Great to hear from you again. Thank you, Ann. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Marka. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Brenda. Bye, Robin. Love you guys. Good night, everyone. You're welcome. You're welcome.